Welcome. Let us begin our time together, as we do in all things at our school, by inviting the good God to be present in our listening and in our speaking. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Loving Father, the tides come and go out to a rhythm. Our hearts pump blood through our bodies to a rhythm. And the sun rises and sets to a rhythm. Help us all to recognize the genius of rhythm in all you created, and to establish that rhythm in the days of our lives by celebrating with joy the new daily routines and schedules that we have created. We know your hand is in every moment, and we approach the present and the future with fearless faith, abounding hope, and unending joy. We keep in mind all of our families and their loved ones as we go forward together on this journey.
Amen.
Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son,
Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen. Our school mission statement is, St. John the Baptist School is dedicated to providing a quality Catholic education that encourages its community to be lifelong learners and leaders, to live their faith with high moral standards, and to grow academically, spiritually, and socially. Our mission guides us in every decision we make, every lesson we plan, and in the way we connect with one another during this time. It will continue to guide us through the uncertainty of the future. We are certain that our future is bright. We are so honored that you have trusted us with the education of your children and are blessed to have you support us and our amazing, hardworking staff. We are happy to be able to provide answers to the questions you shared with us and hope this will alleviate concerns you may have going forward. Kathy Trainer, our Director of Admissions, will now address monetary concerns.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our first town hall meeting. And thanks again to those, as Mary mentioned, that sent in concerning questions. We'd like to address those with you tonight. The first, I think something that's on everyone's minds is obviously monetary concerns. So the question, will tuition be refunded? We are able to provide instruction due to tuition, which provides this instruction, which funds our entire budget and school. We will continue to do this. There will not be any tuition refunded, as we do need to bridge the gap between the cost of educating each student and the tuition we charge. In addition, income needed to meet budget that is derived from fundraisers is lost, as the events this spring could not happen. We also need to maintain facility while we are away from our beloved and time-honored campus. There are supplies and books to be ordered for the upcoming year, and we have no other outside funding to date. We thank all of our families who have signed and sent the petition for the CARES Act sent by the Superintendent of Catholic Schools, Mr. Tom Carroll. The CARES Act petition that was signed is a petition to request that employees of the RCAB be allowed to apply for unemployment benefits, which we currently do not meet criteria to do. The PPP is a loan to small businesses, which we have applied for, but as of this time have not yet received. Another question from a parent. If a parent pays by check directly to the school, how does that work? Please mail your checks as you normally do. I personally have been going to the post office and picking up the mail. If you pay cash to us and stop in and visit us and pay cash, please email me and I would be happy to meet you at the school and we can make an arrangements for you to get a receipt and pay by cash. Once the checks have been received, they all go to Jen Whiteman, our business manager, and are processed normally. If a child owes money for meals, how and where do checks go? Again, please just mail these to the school at our mailing address, and they will be received. How will money paid to the cafeteria by parents of 8th grade students be returned? If an 8th grader does not have a younger sibling with which to credit their account, the money will be refunded. 8th graders who have younger siblings in the school will have the money credited to their younger siblings for this coming school year. Parents may also choose a donation to the school if you wish for your meal money. You can contact Kristen Connor directly if you are owed a refund or need to pay a balance. Another question, will parents be charged for service hours that have not been completed? No, certainly there are no events happening, so we've waived the remainder of the service hours for this year. A big event at our school, which brings a lot of smiles to everyone's faces, is our daddy-daughter dance, father-daughter dance. Will that money be refunded or credited toward tuition? The people that have paid for this dance have already been contacted individually. If I paid for the entire year for before and after care, our extended day program, will this be refunded or credited? Ms. Tricia, our coordinator of the extended day program, has reached out to all of her parents and students. Parents are asked to contact her directly if they are in need of a refund. Another question, how can we accommodate everyone, people who have lost jobs and are struggling financially? For any family that has suffered a change in their financial situation, we encourage you to please reach out to us directly. We have plans and resources in place to assist those families, and if it's something we cannot assist you with, we will do our very, very best to direct you to those who can. How are you handling tuition if this goes until the fall? As you know, we are a not-for-profit institution, which is tuition driven. Everything we do depends on that income. Tuition payments are ongoing as usual, regardless of whether or not we are in the physical building. We are committed to providing you and your student with an excellent education, and our teachers are continuing lesson planning and implementation of the full curriculum. I'll now turn the forum over to Tammy Cronin, and she'll take the next section of questions.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. My questions are going to be general education questions. And the first question I received was, how will younger students be assessed readiness for next year by the teachers? Right now, teachers are assessing students as they meet with them individually or in small groups online. So assessment is ongoing, and it will include your corrected packet work. So we're asking all parents, and I know you received this information in a former weekly letter that was sent out, but please hang on to the work that your children are doing at home. There will come a point in time when you'll be turning that back in, and we will be using that to assess readiness as well. One of the next questions we received was, will there be any type of graduation for kindergarten? We don't want to say no, so this is definitely a yes. We're not canceling, we are postponing. So I know it's something that everybody looks forward to every year. We are hopeful that we'll be able to do that. We just don't know the date and time right now. And as with all dates, we're going to adhere to the directives that have been given by the CDC. The next question we received was, will children advance to the next grade, or will they have to repeat this year? And it's our expectation that the majority of the students will be advancing to the next grade level in the fall. All students are in the same circumstances regarding learning due to the quarantine, so teachers are prepared to allow for review when school reopens. Your child's teacher will inform parents directly if their student is a candidate for retention. And progress reports for grade 8 will be sent May 5th, as well as progress reports for grades 1 through 6 will be sent on May 15th. And that will help you have a better understanding as to where your child is at this point. The next question is, how will grades be determined? Grades are going to be on a pass-retain basis for grades 1 through 4, and grades 5 through 8 will receive an alphanumeric grade. Grades for 3rd and 4th quarter are going to be combined for students in grades 1 through 6. In some cases, a grade of incomplete may be assigned. Pre-K and kindergarten will continue to monitor indicators and to assess progress for each student. Teachers at each grade level are working on rubrics, which will give more detail in the coming weeks, and we'll send those along as soon as they're available. During the summer months, teachers may offer tutoring, and this is dependent on the individual teacher. So if summer tutoring is recommended, the teacher will reach out to parents. My next question, is it possible to stick with the curriculum and not have extra busy work, projects and work other than the major subjects? So any projects and work in addition to our core content subject areas are supplementary. They're not mandatory. Teachers will offer them as an additional resource for students. Most projects are assigned as a tie to the curriculum, so be sure to check with your child's teacher to see if this is a required assignment or an optional one. And then I think the next questions are moving on to Val Shippen.
Hi, and welcome. I have a question from a parent concerned about 8th graders who paid $500 for end of the year activities, and are they getting that money back? As you probably already know, we are currently working on end of the year activities for 8th grade. Some of the monies have already been used for Project Adventure that took place in the fall, and other monies have been put aside for class gifts in Maureen's name, student gifts such as t-shirts. The hope is that there will be a class night at Danvers-Port as well. The graduation fee of $135 that would have been collected in April will also be rolled over into part of the activity fee. So we will not be collecting any money to pay for the caps and gowns, diplomas, yearbooks, and other graduation incidentals. Families will be receiving an email from Lisa Rush and our amazing 8th grade parent committee who will give you further details. Monies that are left over will be returned to families in late summer in the following manner. Families with students enrolled in younger grade levels will have that money deducted from that tuition payment. If you are a family with an oldest or only child, a check will be cut when the numbers have been finalized. Just know that this could be late summer as we are in a holding pattern and with the timing of the 2 events that we would like to have. Or you may choose to donate the remainder to the school. The next question was, would there still be an 8th grade graduation and when will that date be? We are working on an August date right now with Father John and Father Kevin, but as with all things, this will depend on the current quarantine guidelines at the time. It would be a class night at Danvers-Port Yacht Club and a graduation service. That's what we're looking at right now. Currently, we spend all day doing schoolwork and then another few hours doing homework. Will that lighten up? We've had questions from both levels of work-related questions come in. So to answer this first one, we understand that different students will spend differing amounts of time on their schoolwork. Everybody is in a different place, and that's okay. We are following the guidelines of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education recommendations. If your particular student is in need of more assistance, please contact their teacher. Is it necessary to have religion assignments during this time? We take all day to get through major subjects and are finding it difficult to get the religion work done. We are a Catholic school. Religion is the academic subject at the heart of what we are about. Religion is a core content subject area and will continue to be taught. Another question, other schools have Zoom classes every day, which is a good way to keep the kids on track with assignments and give them all a chance to ask questions and keep them on a daily schedule. We are proud to say that our Zoom schedules and times are above and beyond the recommendations of the Department of Education and Elementary and Secondary Education. Teachers have begun providing and will continue to provide their schedules for parents so that they may see the bigger picture. Being a pre-K through 8 school, we must respect the reality that many families are still working from home. There may not be enough devices for every child in the home. Some classes are run at the same time for different grade levels. And while we are offering more than is required of us, We should not be compared to any other reality. We are currently working on guidelines of remote learning, which will go out to parents as soon as it is complete. Will there be final exams for older students? There will not be final exams for the older students. Teachers may assign assessment tools, but they will not be given the weight of final exams. And now I'd like to turn it over to our acting principal, Mary Anderson.
Good evening, and I will be answering the remaining general questions. The first one, will students be able to go in and clean out their lockers? Students in grade 8 will return to school for 20-minute time periods after having signed up for a time on Sign Up Genius. These dates to go in will be May 26th through the 28th. Grades 1 through 6 will return to school on June 15th through the 19th. They will also register on Sign Up Genius. Families with more than one child will need to sign up for a longer time period. Students will be asked to wear masks, to bring in trash bags if they're cleaning out their lockers, and to return school books to their desks on that day. Students will also receive their summer packets and supply lists at that time. One adult will be allowed to assist their child. Every person is required to wear a mask and gloves. Grades pre-K and K will have their items delivered with them, or excuse me, to them with the final packet delivery. We were also asked about how the packet work would be returned by the younger students. As you know, yesterday, we organized that reality. If you are unable to pick up your student's packet, simply contact your teacher and they will make arrangements. The next question, will students be able to complete their MAP testing remotely from home? It is the Archdiocese recommendation that we not test in the spring right now, and we will be administering them in early September or as early as we can return to school. Will school begin earlier or later in the fall due to the quarantine? The school year ends when we have enough hours required by the state. This year, grade 8 ends on May 22nd. Grades 1 through 7 ends on June 12th. And pre-K and K end on June 5th. School will begin on August 31st for grades 1 through 8, and pre-K and K will begin on September 8th. We follow the City of Peabody's start date for the school. Please keep in mind that the fall start is contingent upon directives from Governor Baker and our local authorities. What is the plan to transition safely to school next year? Much will depend on the state guidelines as they become available, but the school is being sanitized and extra layers of protection are being put in place. How do we end this school year? We are working with Father John to have an end of the year mass streamed live on Facebook. We are also asking teachers to do a whole Zoom class following the mass. Are teachers being compensated during this time, or do families of St. John's need to help? Teachers are being paid due to the wonderful compliance of families continuing to pay their tuition. Please continue to do so, and we can continue to maintain our exceptional level of education for your child. The last question is, how will Ms. Kelleher be honored? And how is the family doing? Our new STEM lab will be named in her honor. Ms. Kelleher will also be honored by the 8th grade class with their gift in her name. We plan to have a service and a day of celebration with the family of Ms. Kelleher when we are able to return to school. Her family is doing okay, and if you would like to send them a card or a letter, please, you may do so by sending it to the school, and we will make sure it is delivered to them. Donations to the school may also be made in her name. In closing, we thank you again for your continued trust and support. We are honored to be your partners in education and will continue to offer you the excellence of St. John the Baptist School in the days and years to come. Thank you, and God bless.
Good night.